Hello and welcome everyone to Bridging Dimensions show with Marguerite Rigoglioso. My name is Athena Sai and I will be your heavenly host for today's show. Our topic today is a big one and the energies are already so palpable. Today we're going to be talking about the Ascension Teachings from the Marys. So what does it mean to ascend? Mother Mary accomplished a full ascension at the end of her life, extensively documented in her biographies, as well as Marguerite's new book, which is The Secret Life of Mother Mary. Mary Magdalene also practiced ascension teachings and techniques in the latter part of her life. And in today's oracle ceremony, Marguerite will open up to draw forth these incredible teachings from the Marys and what their processes and techniques were and how they're relevant for our lives today. Marguerite is in her High Priestess Oracle state with the assistance of the plant medicine Lady Cannabis, also known as Asterion or Portal to the Stars. This event will go about 90 minutes, and we'd love to have all of your questions, your comments, anything that's coming up for you. Please share it below in the chat box. And then we also invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And then you might see below there is a little money icon. And this is actually to show your love and support. And you can leave super chat donations with the money icon below. Your donations do support Seven Sisters Mystery School in the delivery of these invaluable wisdom teachings. So we also want to give a very special shout out and thank you to Connie Viveros for being our sacred space holder. She's here with us in the background, as well as a thank you to Karen Gordon, who is doing an incredible job behind the scenes as administrative manager of the school. I know that you are excited about this. You're here. I know you've been feeling this in your heart and you have this calling. And before we dive into these incredible teachings and the wisdom that's going to be shared, I do want to mention that upcoming is the Mary and Magdalene Priestess training. This is actually a 6-month training, which starts September 10th and runs through February 25th with an optional in-person retreat in October. This registration actually ends next Wednesday, which is going to be August 28th. So what this entails is each month you will experience a new round of initiation and a new level of awakening of your original Sophia light. So you may come into the fullness of who you are as an angelic human on this planet. You get to become and immerse yourself in the living embodiment of the Marys and why they're here and what they're here to offer us. So we're definitely going to share more about that later in the show. So let's go ahead and dive in because I know you're excited just as I am. So again, please comment and share all of your questions in the chat box. So hello, Marguerite, and how are you today?
Okay, I was just directed to get my drum. So whether you can hear it or not, I'm meant to have this drum right now to clear some space and set some space for everybody who's watching in any level, dimension, reality, location, time, space. We're all protected. We're protected through the higher vibration of love that we're all going to now. So everybody is being invited to put on a cloak of love to the best of your ability, because this is what the only thing that can navigate through everything we're going through in all the dimensions. It is the cloak of protection. It is love. That is how you move between the 3rd dimension and the 5th dimension if you're going through the 4th, which most of us are in now. You have to have a cloak of love. And so in order to have the cloak of love, you have to often go through a tremendous amount of healing in order to be able to have that love come in and flow out. So healing is very important for the human race. And then you are ready for love. And then when you can turn on your love amplification for yourself, for other people, for the world, for even the dark side, then this is your elevator. This is your Merkaba. It is a it is a cloak of love. It's not just light. You see, we're forgetting about the love quotient that was supposed to go in the cloak of light. So, here's Marguerite to tell everybody in the entire world, hey, when you put the cloak of light on for your ascension, put love into it. Like the light can get so intellectual with the whole thing. And then the love is the feminine, right? This is what's coming to the fore on the planet right now, for us to just bring forth this love within ourselves, for other people, developing an unconditional acceptance. And this is what becoming the Mary is. And this is an ascension vehicle. So I will pause there, Athena, because it's so high octane today. I didn't realize that I'm kind of, I don't know, I guess I've been initiated into a new level of information. So, all right, let's have the next question.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And just as you were saying that, what was coming forward is that love factor. It's like it's birthed through the darkness. It's like the void of the mother, right? The void of the mother's womb. And then the light is penetrating it. And so it just felt like that love of the dark and the light together. And so it just felt really beautiful that you shared that. The first question that we have is, what is ascension?
Well, really, we all know what it is. It's the movement of our soul. And you know what, Karen, I meant to be looking at Athena for this so that I can see her. Yeah, it's the movement of the soul. Okay. That's what it is. We all know what it is. And so it's about a movement of the soul where? What stop on the elevator? And so the Sophia Christos family is showing us higher stops on the elevator for where we can go. They are trying to take you all the way through that dark portal that they've set up, all the way out, boop, into where your soul truly desires and needs to be, not caught up in a fourth dimensional schema time and again. We're trying to help you literally see the bubble, boop, go above that bubble. And love is your greatest ally, and it's going to be challenging to apply in all cases, you see. But there are methods and ways of using the love vibration to navigate. And this is like the many layers of love that you're going to be navigating with. It's another vehicle that you can put around you. Okay. So I'm just going to pause there. I feel like I should be asking for another question. Is anything I'm saying making sense?
Yes, it does. It does make sense.
Okay.
It's our soul's journey. We're all going through it at different levels.
Yeah, it's just about, we're all going to ascend, so to speak, somewhere. It's just a matter of where. So ascension is not a one-stop destination.
And that kind of leads us into the next question. Can you share a little bit more about where do we go?
All right.
Have you been able to tap into that?
Mother Mary went all the way to the outer edges and became one. That's the highest level of ascension. Most of us are going to use the up-down metaphor, going here, oh, getting off here, here, oh, getting off here, oh, Marguerite, this heaven, oh, da. And you get to go there, you get to park there. But what the Sophia Christos family is doing is allowing us to access more of those heavens or those places, so that there's not that capstone around the planet of how far we can go, so that we can truly be liberated as souls. And then if we really want to come back to the planet, we can. But if we don't really want to, we don't have to. We're not tricked into doing it. So this is about understanding the levels and dimensions of the heavens and where you're going and what's possible, what's calling your soul in this lifetime. If you don't have a sense of which heaven you want to go to, you're going to be recycling around in third and fourth dimension, But if you pop open to the understanding of the multi-dimensional nature of reality, then you start accessing some of these realms, then you're going to be able to understand this for your earth walk much, much better. These teachings are coming through the Sophia Christos family and many other people about how to govern your ascension. And it does in part have to do with how you live on the earth, how you live your lifetime. It's kind of old-fashioned when you come right down to it. You can gain a great deal of merit. You can release a lot of karma in one lifetime by how you live that lifetime. What vibration, you see. And people love to do all sorts of things like, I'm going to come in and I'm going to get down into that vibration and then I'm going to see if I can do it, For some souls, it's a sport. But for some souls, it's a very serious process. And there are levels and steps and places, a variety of places the soul can go after death. And one location, for example, one of many, is the one in Astral City where the souls go for rehabilitation hospital, whatever it is. Some people will go there. Some people are going there. That guy went there, but the channeler of that. But there's other realms that you can achieve into if you want to. And it's really important for us to become aware of what these realms are. They said, if you understood how important this was to your soul's life and your earth walk is like a blip of the head of a very long pin, you would be spending much more time and energy on this topic on the earth. I mean, this is a serious awakening to other dimensional reality that's needing to happen for the liberation of humans. Not getting caught into the third and fourth dimensional meshes. Now, it can sound hard, it can sound implacable, but no, as you're developing your light body, your love body, you're able to do this more and more. You're the ninja. How kind can you be to this person, that person, that person? Marguerite fails these tests, all right? The person on the other side of the phone who's not giving a customer service. This has been a big healing she's had to do in the last few weeks to step it up for this Mary training, all right? She can't be walking around screaming at people and then teaching a Mary training. Just FYI, behind the scenes, what Marguerite has been up to, okay? She's trying to work it. So, yeah. How we live our life is really important for our ascension. It's not like, I'm going to be an idiot, then I'm going to find the ascension keys and boom, I'm going like Melchizedek. No, it's not going to be like that. Okay, another question.
That was beautiful. And I just want to say hello to everyone who is joining us live. We do have Laura here who is asking, actually, what is the Rosary?
The Rosary. Well, the Rosary is a mala that was made to drip. So you may be wanting to understand the insertion of a cross into a circle is not really a good thing for a talisman. You might want to all go back to the malas. Now, Athena, can you give the question again?
She just asked, what is the rosary?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a device for penitence, punishment, and the ratcheting in of the programmed versions of Christianity. So you have your nice ladies, well-meaning, all over Italy and whatnot and so on, saying all of these mantras, these fake mantras on a device that's meant to leak your energy. We hate to say it. We hate to break it to some of the people who are attracted to the rosary, but notification on planet Earth. Take a look. Take another look. Okay. Athena.
And that is a big thing that a lot of people, I think, will have to unpack for themselves. What is their truth in that?
Because it's, yeah, exactly. You know?
And how can we get back to the original essence of what mantra is and the power that our voice and these, because the Hail Mary is, like a mantra, right?
Yeah, it's a mantra that weaves in certain things. That's why in the Mary training, we're going to write another Hail Mary. You have to have your own Hail Mary. That's really important. When you start leading people like sheep through certain prayer, boy, somebody's getting very popular with a church that shall remain unnamed today. So we're just going to put on the cloak of love around that. We're just going to put on the cloak of love. The people get to choose their own reality is the suggestion. So, they're showing you a better reality to pick up on, like an Eden type of reality. And they're really encouraging earthlings, people, to up their vibration to really remanifest that Eden realm. It is going to take a very big village known as a planet to do it. And, there's an opportunity for high motion now for people on planet Earth. There really is. So it's how are you living? How are you loving? Those are the two mantras, if you're going to use English. And so we're showing you, the spells that are woven into your languages and so forth that are then included in these prayers, whatever language it is and so forth and so on. And then it was on a foundation of a language that came in during a time period when there was a lot of infiltration of the planet, let's just say. Okay. That was a major hit on planet Earth. And the Holy Family was like, whoa, we better go in now because we can't even wait. We haven't been able to perfect the mission, but we don't really think it's going in a good way. We've got to go in there. We're going to get hurt. Some people are going to get hurt, but we got to get in there. So Mother Mary is barely able to, restore Jesus's soul from that attack. That's what Sri Kaleshwar means by that holy womb chakra thing that she did. She literally had to restore his soul. She really had to rebirth him. Like, I am seeing this. She had to be like, whoa, I've got all the pieces. What the heck? We got to catch this all and do this now. We don't want to have to come back in another 500 years. Gosh knows. So they did the best they could with what they had. So a lot of them are coming. They're coming to us through the crucifixion scenario. So we have to, okay, we've been given that. They're coming through the crucifixion scenario. At least just find what their essence is. And then leave the accoutrements elsewhere.
And I feel like, I mean, me personally, I've been moving through that. I've been moving through a lot of the wounds when it comes to, negative forces and things of that nature, and how it's applied to, the beginning of time with humanity, and how we're being asked to navigate this again. And I know it's not just me. There's so many of us that are being faced with these difficulties. Yeah. And it's kind of like we're being faced with even these dark agendas, these dark forces, but it's that, how do we choose to live?
That's right.
Do we want to dive into that, or do we want
Yes,
to?
we do want to dive into it, because it's absolutely critical. How you live, even in the face of the horror that certain people can see going on, is the trick. And you're the ones to do it. Who else but you? You've got to show the way. The way. Jesus talks about it in every possible language. The way is the path of the love light. It's simple and it's complex. And then religion becomes all complex on top of it all. And people end up forgetting that core essence of relig, which is to relig, which is to retie heaven and earth. Okay, I'm going to pause there for another question.
That's so beautiful. And thank you for sharing that, because like I said, I've been personally going through a lot of what you're sharing. And so it just really hits home to me. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So the Marys are here for this time. This really is no joke. It's no cute little marketing ploy on Marguerite's part. It's truly a thing that's being anchored by sending out the Mary vibrations. I'm one of the spearheads, but there are other people in there, and we're all going to be sending out the Mary vibrations to one another to strengthen us within, and then to send out the Mary vibrations out.
And when you speak of the Mary vibrations, can you share a little bit about what that means for you?
Well, it's the love. It's the love light. And it is the knowledge of the human womb. There had to be practicalities. They had to understand the technologies, if you will, with your language, of the human womb, to be able to come in and help. So Mother Mary is like a techno-scientist beyond belief, who came in here to orchestrate the advent of an avatar through all this miasm. That is freaking huge, everybody. And it's time to take that in, because this is the possible strength of the feminine. Mother Mary is showing us one way, because she's a woman who went from lifetimes to lifetimes and had her ultimate ascension. Take notes. What is not to take notes about that? So the thing is, we're still weaving the truth through these old Catholic doctrines and, whatever they are. So we're trying to find and recreate the essence of these beings, this love light wisdom, that came through. Oh, that particular cloak outfitting over here this time, and it was over here the last time, and it was over here. Okay, so they're working it to help us in any way possible with this awakening.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so much, it's like that this final purge, almost like this final karmic release and shedding, like on a massive collective scale, that we're really like looking at these darker parts. We're looking at these other energies. We're looking at where we've played victim, where we've been the perpetrator, where we've even tried to be the savior in some aspects. But it's like coming into that truth, and like the journey is being shown to many of us, and so we, like you said, we have to be taking notes, and
Yeah.
this is the way forward. And I feel like the people that are resonating with your work specifically, they're on that path, and so you have this ability to guide others into the teachings and what you've learned, but also to like embody their medicine themselves. And so I
Yeah.
love that about the work that you bring forward, and I feel like it's needed right now. It's needed for us to gather together, just like we did in the old days, right?
Yeah.
To really come in and share this love and this vibration and the way that we can ascend.
That's right. The Mary energy is one way it looks, but for a lot of people, it's a vivid way. Same with the Magdalene energy. For other people, it's a different over here, Kuan Yin or whatever. So they're coming into us through that channel that had a show in which a guy was divinely born, then he was crucified, then he resurrected. It was that channel that the whole thing ended up coming through, wormhole by wormhole. That's what it ended up being. So it's like, wow, I mean, just to comprehend the enormity of that, it both attaches and detaches these stories from all these religions,
Isis and Osiris, how he was in the underworld, chopped to pieces, and her and her sister both had to bring him back together. It's a story, and we're living it because I feel like we're going in.
They couldn't get the phallus. That was key. That was not a little detail.
Yeah.
Okay, because it meant he couldn't fully be resurrected, you see. They like to castrate them. So Mother Mary was doing a massive reweaving job to bring Jesus' essence back to the plane and keep it here. That was a massive net that she created in order for it to happen. Okay, let's get to a different question.
Okay, there are some questions coming in, so let's go ahead and go over to the chats. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us. So we have, let's see, Divine Whispers is saying, I work with the Marys as well. Do you work with Lady Nada at all? I am just remembering lifetimes with these specific frequencies.
Right. I don't know Lady Nada. I really only know the Marys, so I'll stick with those. But what you just want to do is just discern whether these masters you're working with are of the true love, light, and wisdom. That's all. Okay. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Starlight's Mystical Craft is saying, I'm half angel, half demon. How do you even know what vibration to be at if you embrace both?
Okay, well, that's a very important question. And what I'm being shown is the yin yang. Your technology in this lifetime is to move your duality into a yin yang. And if you do that in your body in this lifetime, lots of merit for that. So you're going to have to keep your good and your evil really close at hand and really emblazon that yin yang symbol in your soul and use that as the technology by which you're walking around. Okay, we think that question has been answered.
Mm-hmm. Viola is saying, what tools or energetic or physical do you feel are most important in the beginnings of an ascension journey?
Okay, good question. Well, what's coming in here is Mary Magdalene's practice that's come down through the cracks of all of this, that she went up to heaven 7 times a day. So you want to be practicing putting your light suit on 7 times a day when you're here. Really activating your light body 7 times a day. This is some kind of strengthening of the light body that happens. So that's a little bit of extra added on to that Mary Magdalene bit. You know, like we have to add on to what is the rest of that teaching? What is the rest of that story? You know, and Marguerite is doing that in her books. And in her Mary book, she's showing you how to put flesh on bones. Okay, of an old master. She's used her imagination to the best of her ability. And then other people are going to be adding to that image of that master. Where it's like we're co-creating these masters. That's part of the technology. And so it's a mirror. The mirror is the thing. They are you, you are them. So pick a good them to be you by, you see? That's what it is. It's climbing the ladder. Okay, next question.
That's beautiful. I know you just shared a little bit about Mary Magdalene's process, but can you share a little bit more about Mother Mary's ascension process?
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing it again. She went full zenith. She went from here to all the way into merging with the universe. It again comes back to that. That was her ascension rite ritual. It was high level magic. Those conducting the ritual, originally the women, were working with those high masters on the inner planes. I mean, these people were major technicians, and they could teach that. They were quickly teaching that to the others. Well, here come the crucifixions, here come the throwing to the lions, and here comes the dissolution of these teachings all the way out here. And so then you're trying to figure out, why is a unicorn and a virgin connected? And it takes people like Marguerite ruminating about this on her off hours, trying to figure it out to put it together so we could all make the stepstone into Eden again, at least to the realm of the fairies. That's part of the Mary training. We're at least getting to the realm of the fairies with these Marys. They're helping us unite, you know, all the dimensions, all the realms. Things that you want in there. So you are literally co-creating this new earth. So what do you want to put in it? It's not like the technology is not reaching for a new earth that's already out there. It's like, oh, here we are, co-creating. I'm putting in this. I'm putting in this. It's like stone soup, all right? You know that story, stone soup, whatever. You people are creating your new earth, so make it a good one. Okay, I'm going to pause there for a question.
I just want to share that a visual that I was given as you're saying that, is like you're seeing it like everything, all these aspects, the Palladians, the Arcturians, the angels, the Marys, the Rose lineage, like all the, even the demonic energies, like all, I'm seeing them in all bubbles. And as I'm seeing these bubbles, it's like as we tune into this frequency, it's like we're seeing them, the bubbles fade and all is just becoming one. And it's just this like umbrella of everything, oneness. And it just, I don't know, I just felt like I needed to share that because that's kind of what I was seeing. It's just this dissolving of all the bubbles of what was, and like seeing it all as one. And that's how maybe we can, step
that's
into
how
that
we're
oneness.
doing it. I mean, this Mary training literally is, it's image is that it's a woven creation, and it's weaving together. It's letting us have like 5 things to weave together to move it along. Because we used to have to be stuck in the nunhood, and oh my God, it was like a teeny, teeny, tiny picture of Mother Mary like this. Now it's like we're opening to Mother Mary as the goddess, a good goddess, to really help us with this stuff. And Mary Magdalene is that watchtower. She's that sister, takes our hand and brings us to Mother Mary. You see? Like Mary Magdalene even was having that's her choice. That's the role that she wants right now. She's like, I will put off full ascension because I have to have my brothers and sisters coming through my tower. Okay, so she's birthing a lot of women. And now, we're being given the invitation to go see what Mother Mary's all about. Okay, I'm going to pause there.
Well, and I think this is a good spot just to talk a little bit more about the training. We've shared a lot about it. So this, again, it is a 6-month training, and it actually starts September 10th, and registration closes August 28th, which is next Wednesday. So again, this is going to be amazing, and it's really going to help us to increase our energy, our vibration, to work with our light body, to be that earth guardian, as well as the sacred leader of love. And so if you guys are feeling called to this, Marguerite is offering short little priestess conversations to help you gain clarity if this is the path right for you. As she spoke earlier, Mary is one path. There are many paths. And so if you're kind of on the fence there, Marguerite is offering these calls to help you gain some clarity around if this program's for you.
Yeah, and some people decide yes, and some people decide no, and it's perfectly fine, Yeah, there was something in there that I wanted to say. So, we are all recreating this and co-constructing this together, this priestesshood. Ideally, it's like the net of stars. It's like Newt. That's what this priestesshood is. Okay? So that's what we're becoming. I'm doing my part to, get some of this, another wide section of this going, right? But it's really up to all of us. And so what I'm doing now is I'm tuning into, the many. Like I've been really focusing on connecting up with Mother Mary and everything. So now I'm going to focus on the many, which is what she does 24/7. All right. That is some job. There is a lot to track. And, Roseanne Barr wasn't off when she said, what do you think the uterus is a tracking device? That's why that was so funny, because people got it on multiple levels. All right. That Roseanne Barr over there. So bring me back to the question, if you would.
I was just sharing about the priestess training. And
yes. So basically, it's a serious thing. but not in the way that it's going to feel bad. You know what I mean? It's just going to be very interesting for you to explore. Ooh, right. Hark. Mary Magdalene's. Wow. What is that? Yeah. Let me help make this tapestry larger. Okay. Did that help?
I think so. Yes. Yes. It's another path that's broadening people's horizons to how they want to live, how they want to show up, how they want to love, how they want to be of service. Because being part of the Marys, it can be just for ourselves, but ultimately it is, how do we bring peace and love to the planet? How do we do that in our families?
Simple as pie. The Mary and Magdalene Priestess Training, or being all about love and light and, loving everybody. How are we going to do that on the planet? That essentially is what this is, even though it's going to be like, ooh, how interesting, the fairies, the Pleiades, the unicorns, It's like, well, what unites all of those? Love. Mm-hmm. And a lot of womb knowledge as well.
Okay. And how we can access that love through our inner journey and our inner workings, and working together in a group, I think is really, really important right now.
Yeah, working together in a group, we're going to have to be working with that. The Zoom actually helps to some degree with that. It's like women have needed to be a little bit more separated for a little while in order to deal with the intensity that would have been coming forth in live presence. So the Zoom has kind of worked out, and then everybody can sort of take it to their own domain. We'll have a little dip in with the retreat for those who, want to try being back in company of love and the Marys. But the cacao will help, you see, because it will even us out at the heart level. Okay, but yeah, that's what we're working with right now is how to clear ourselves up, lift ourselves up bit by bit. Again, this training is going to be a very good way to do that. Okay, I'll stop there.
Beautiful. All right. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for all of your comments. We're going to turn to the comments now. Abigail is saying, is there a particular diet or nutrition protocol that the Marys may suggest for Ascension?
Okay, very good. And Abigail and Athena here are the two priestess guardians for that course, for whom I thank profusely for bringing their fairy wings in service to that, really very nicely. So that's a big service that both of them are doing. And they are being very appreciated for that. They're like two little wings on either end of this dove ship that you're all kind of co-creating here. It's interesting because it's like we're coming out of the dour Catholic, the dour religion that shall not be name's view of things. We're busting through and dissolving out of all those misery pictures in order to get to, a very high Mary Magdalene, a very high Mother Mary. So all this stuff over the last 40 years has been very, very important to the reconnecting with these beings as humans who are showing us a pathway to the stars again. Through right living and then knowledge of right dying, which is another whole question we should get to. But to get back to Abigail's question about the food, diets for this. Okay, so let's just look. Diets for Ascension. Well, frankly, the best diet for Ascension is prana. That's what it came to. I was just like, are you kidding me? That is so like Marin, California. What do you mean, prana? And they're like, no, we're not kidding. that is the best diet, you know. But see, because there were these manipulations and you lost your access to the prana, you had to get increasingly lower and lower levels of vibration until now you're eating each other, essentially. You're eating animals. Okay. So it didn't have to be that way. It didn't used to be that way. Animals didn't even eat animals. That's the headline about Eden. No one ate each other. It was really a glorious place. And they're saying, visualize that. The Eden that you want. Put a lot of focus on the day, because even the spirit workers who are exposing all of the perfidies of everything, that puts us a lot of time into the underworld, right? So one of the things we're doing this training is we're rebuilding Eden. Very important. That's why we're going to be working with the fae, the flowers, and the unicorns. They're a major feature of the Eden realm. Okay, so we're learning how to move between dimensions in this lifetime after we cross, and we want to do it with as much consciousness and awareness as possible, enough assistance. And it does benefit people being on the earth in prayer vigil, so to speak, for the soul to make their passage without breaks in the, you know, that Jewish tradition is right, like 7 consecutive days or whatever, where somebody is praying and mantraing all the time for the soul to help them in what they're going to encounter, this and that. Now, Mary Magdalene gave us the gospel of how to navigate wrath and the ignorance of the flesh and all those things. That's a shortened version, you know, of what you can encounter. And so your mechanism is the Merkaba of light and love. Going up through that, you want to be able to be conscious enough to have that around you when you're going. And that's why having a prayer vigil for the person who's consciously doing this are things you want to restore again. Okay, so when you have these Gnostic mysteries and so forth, you're all going to be restoring what is the death portal passage mysteries. And then your priestesses, there are going to be those who are the priestesses of birth, bringing the souls in, and those who are priestesses of bringing the souls out. Okay, and that actually was a function. They were paid to do various things when a dead person was going. Now we don't even have that. So this is a whole thing. It's not about, I'm going to take my elevator straight up to, you know, the divine. No, it's like, whoa, what are the steps along the way? How do you get there? When? How do you choose? This is part of the Ascension Teachings that have completely gone missing. The descriptions of how the soul goes through. Now there are some, the Egyptian, the Tibetan, whatever it is. There's codes and so forth there, but all of this is connected up with your ascension. What happens to your body? That matters also. Okay, and I could look into it. I don't know if I want to. It's not going to be very popular. Okay, let me have another question.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I want to say that is very prevalent, especially those of us who work in the shadows or shadow walkers, you know, working with the death. It's important to be able to help those souls journey on.
It really is. And really understanding there is a soul, there is a journey, there is an on.
Mm-hmm. and that every soul has free will and they can choose how they want to move, but many
They go
are
up
ready to move.
totally unconsciously,
Mm-hmm.
not at all prepared for this passage, and get recycled right down back in. Okay, this is what the Tibetans have been telling you for years, all these monks all over the place. It really is no joke. Like, to restore these actual priestesshoods and services and understandings would be a great service to humanity. So that's why they were the Myrrh priestesses, because they were dealing with helping the body cross over. The anointing at the end was as important as anything. It had to be a certain kind of recipe. And that would help the souls. That's part of the myrrh-bearing women. Priestesses of divine birth, priestesses of divine death. That's what the myrrh was about, you see. So you're starting to reconstruct your birth mysteries. You're going to start to reconstruct your death mysteries and understandings. And talk about jobs for priestesses, all right? You're going to be wondering, how am I going to make money? How am I going to... Get in the business of ushering people's dead, all right? They pay big bucks for that. And if you're doing it in the right way, it's a very good service on planet Earth. Wow. So, we just got a whole new job career series.
It's like the birth and the death doula, but a whole nother notch, another
right.
level.
Obviously, there have been these birth doulas. There have been these death doulas, people who get it here and there. But we're now more and more connecting the dots. Okay, next question.
Okay, so I'm going back to the comments, and those of you that are watching, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, and share this if you're finding this information stimulating, which I sure am. So, okay, we're gonna go to AZ Mountain Girl. She is asking, so the Marys are connected to the bees?
Yes. Yes. I mean, they're connected to everything, but they're connected to some things more than others. And the beehive is a big one. The structure of the beehive, right? And the Essenes knew something about it. The structure of the beehive was what would benefit how people could live most harmoniously. And it was something having to do with 6. So they were able to avoid a lot of their problems by creating a hexagram, a beehive around them somehow. So they could all be individual, but they could be one hive. So they were working with beehive technology. That's what the Essene is ultimately. And so, yes, the Marys were all into that, because honey also was a substance for the death passage. It was honey, myrrh, it was spices, something, okay? All of that. Because, and they would start it, there's a timing of when you would do this with the body. That's a whole study of how to treat the body, how to do that, how to do all those ancient things. It's a whole lost art. And now we have, well, we'll just say it, imprisoning the body down below in a box, or burning its essence so that it can't go back to the natural world, really. You're entering the fire element into it. I don't know. People are going to have to take this however they want, because I always thought I would, be fire stormed. So it's like, this is part of the death rites, the understandings. of what to do with the body. The Indians have it more right when they leave the body to the birds or something of that nature. All of these things matter. They affect and influence the soul's journey. Okay, this is a whole talk about the funerary establishment. I mean, gee, I'm just pouring it out there. Okay, Athena, next question.
Okay. So let's see. Laura is saying cacao is coming to mind here. She feels it's one of the medicines of the mother, and she wonders if she's on the right track here.
Oh, absolutely. It is literally Gaia's milk. Okay? It tastes like terra, dirt, earth. It is. It's literally Gaia's milk. And so that's the meaning of how the pods come out of the branches. They just like pop. They're like breasts kind of thing. So you can use that in your marketing. Mother's milk. Mother's milk of the earth. That's a really beautiful way to look at cacao. I'm just honoring Ish Cacao because she's been so good to me and so good to so many of us. Yeah, she's a portal opener. And we're going to be working with her in the training, at the retreat, and so forth. It's going to help us. Because we need these plant allies to help us go broader and deeper. Okay, we're just taking baby steps here before we get to a level where we could be 8 women in a very high octane medicine ceremony in which 1, maybe 2 of them gets pregnant. If you get that one. The Marys bringing forth the avatar in a group of 8. That's a different geometry. Okay, next question.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Well, Pamela is asking, and this kind of goes into another question that I want to dive into. She's asking, she's saying she's loving the teachings of Mother Mary. She has a question with chapter 1 meditation from the Secret Life of Mother Mary. It says, Jesus took the hit for us. We are protected. What do you mean? And then after that, can you go into the ascension of Jesus?
Okay, so Jesus took the hit for us is one way in which some of us are understanding the loving nature of these masters and deities in their great, great service to us as a planetary species. Can you ask the question again?
So she was asking about, and it says, Jesus took the hit for us.
Oh, yeah.
We
right.
are protected. What do you mean?
Right. So, he did something of almost universal proportions through that crucifixion situation. I mean, it was such a big yoga or series of yogas that he was working on so many domains and dimensions. He was like a living portal for like a lot of this stuff to be expelled. A lot of this negativity. And so that's one version that we're working with of this story, that he did that. He almost totally blew himself up, but Mother Mary was able to take him back into her womb and reconstitute him. Okay. So Jesus' ascension, because I've been wondering, did Jesus walk again after the resurrection, or was he on the other side, in another realm? And he's like, both. I can be in multiple places at the same time. So use whatever resonates more for you, whatever gives you a sense of deep mystical meaning. Go with that one. But but do double check your tools, like the Rosary and so forth. Double check your tools and do the best you can. That's what this training is doing. We're double checking our tools and doing the best we can with these new understandings of these great masters, understanding of which makes us great. It's an ascension vehicle. This book, my book, this class, etc. It is an ascension vehicle. It's like bringing us further along. And, I want that as much as anyone. So I'm like in there getting the info, and a lot of other of you are going to be getting that information. We can put it together. We can use that Facebook group, whatever, to kind of put these things together. Like it's every woman with her own Mary, every woman with her own Magdalene, because she's teaching you. She's a unique teacher for you because she can fractalize into uniqueness, infinite uniqueness. So she can be your perfect teacher and somebody else's perfect teacher, and it looks a little differently. You see, so that's one of these democracy things that's happening. This is real democracy, all right? Forget about the circus that they're doing with all the music and the balloons. Okay? This is the Democratic Convention. All of the women who are coming to this training. All right? I got a few good ideas, and you all have some good ideas. Like we have to, and it's not like I'm going to hold everything for each one of you. You're part of the fabric of the blanket. It's strong enough, and you can do the work of taking it out as you see fit, right? Okay. Next question.
All right. So Corby is asking, what's the relationship with Z Cacao and the Marys?
With Ish Cacao and the Marys. Okay. Well, it's a form. Mother's milk of the earth is just the feminine nurturance. So it's going to be the Mary's energy. It's going to be right. It is connected with all other systems, people, and beings that are resonant of the love energy. So of course the Marys are, it's a very lovely entry point for them. Okay, to work with us. So when you're working with Mary's, Magdalene's, and Cacao, it's pretty powerful. So, come to that retreat, everybody. All right. I'm even being shown. Like I have the ideas, but then when I go into medicine, it's like I see and feel it on such a much deeper level. And some people are able to convey that like right in the moment, so I'm doing what I can. All right, next question.
Thank you so much. Yoga Healing is saying, how do we overcome the fear of death?
Okay. Well, doing things like sensory deprivation chambers help you with that. Marguerite passed that one terribly. She did not, all right? She went to Oasis H2O Spa in, Oklahoma over there with Connie Swan. And no, she was terrified, all right? She did not pass that test. But you have to habituate yourself, you see, into like floating. That's what helps you. And anything like meditation, helps you. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, and it sounds like, when you're saying that floating, it's like that ability to surrender.
Yeah, there's partly that, because too much of the death passage is people struggling and fighting because they know they don't want to go to that negativity. But if you're in the Merkaba of love light, you are an automatic elevator, and you don't have to worry about this passage. And if you have people praying for you and this and that. Did that answer that question?
Yeah, I think so. And it's just that connection to the surrender and to coming into almost like a neutral state where the past programs of fear no longer can affect you because you found that peace within. And I think
That's
that's
right. And that's the absolute meaning of Mary Magdalene's doctrine, her gospel. Study that extensively. And I have that course on it, actually, where I go through that gospel. It's very, very important. Those are the passcodes and the passwords you're asking for help also. Yes, these are other things. Okay, so some of the diet, refining your diet, working with all your meditation and flotations and, all that kind of thing. Reschooling yourself from the Akasha of what are the rungs of the other world, and where do I want to go, and who are my guides in this? What's my best pathway? And, really building up the love light Merkaba during this lifetime, so that it just goes with, it is you. It's what leaves your body is your Merkaba. So you want this to be really robust so that, those around you can help you with that ascension through the myrrh, through the rituals and the mantras and things like that. Okay. It was a high function. And some of these women were in high demand because people knew they were good. They knew their dead was going to get an elevator, not an escalator. And I think Magdalene was one of them, actually. That's what I'm getting. She learned the death mysteries. That's why she's seen as a skull, because that's a symbol of that. She learned those death mysteries to help people's dead pass. In the Eden realms, we didn't have to worry about that. It's just, So I've actually asked, okay, well, what about this meme about going to the light and people who go to the light and come back? Can I look at that?
yeah, that question that you asked was, let me find that here.
Go to the light.
This is just saying,
oh,
am I on? Okay, I'm not on mute. Sorry. So I would think just connecting in with that, what are you feeling around that, around the light, around that connection? Can they ascend and can they physically come back to earth?
Okay. Well, first of all, I was just getting this image with the other question. Well, how come we have these stories of people who are saying they've just went to the light and they came back, right? And it's like, well, they're, by grace of their contracts, they're showing you the road.
Are you talking about like near-death experiences where people have
They're
passed?
showing you the
Okay.
road. Like, while you're in this Merkaba of love light, you want to be focusing on the light. So that's your little directions, instructions for as your body is moving. You do want it to move to the light. And all these other things are going to come in. You're a space conqueror. You're a murderer. You're this. You're that. Look at, you're leaving your child. You're doing da-di-da-di-da. All these like things that want to keep you down, in 3D, not really by choice, want to keep you in 4D. Right? There's so many voices on a dying person that it's a miracle they could even get from A to B.
They're the hooks of the mental.
They're the hooks. And that's why the ancestors stay around for as long as people remember them, because there is a hook there. It's a happy one. They're happy to help, but they'll be there, and then they'll be like, "Phew, anyone else remembers? Oh, there is that pesky photograph in the middle of the Louvre. Dang." But things like that. Okay, let's go on to the next question.
Thank you so much. And if you guys are finding this information helpful, please make sure to like and comment below, as well as you can hit the super chat icon, and that actually supports these messages to get out to a bigger audience. So we'd love for your support here as well. So I'm going to move here to Ellen. She is asking, do the Marys benefit from our prayers for them? Or are they so complete that they are happy to just be a source of prayers for us?
Well, what I'm getting is that they receive anything from your heart. So if you want to pray for them, with them, they just feel like it's a beautiful honoring of them. That's how they receive it. And they wouldn't want to give, it's like honoring your mother. Ideally, you would want to feel this way about your earth mothers, and people used to feel this way. Okay, so bring me back to the question. I want to continue this one again.
So she's saying, do they benefit from our prayers?
Oh, it's not so much benefiting in that, right, they are complete, but it's such a love exchange that it's so valuable to them and to you. So they're saying, adjust your measurement devices. Okay, so I'll just pause there.
And I just want to bring up, I believe, because you have mentioned the Magdalene Priestess training that you had done previously. And I believe that's one where you actually led the group through a meditation where they sent their prayers and love to the Marys, and the Marys expanded it.
Oh, well, that's so great.
Do you want to bring it? Because it feels like that there's kind of an intertwining right there.
What it is it's, yes, the Marys expanded it for the humans, right? Yes. It's through these group calls of them. Like the individual relationship with them does one thing for you and our planet, and then the group calls do another thing on our planet. They're more exponential kind of thing. So they're just showing me that the geometry of that, again, it's like the stars, the endless starry net. So we're coming back to recreate this star net. Okay.
I love that. The star net. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're saying this really is a starry enterprise. It's an earth enterprise. It's an everything prize, including a surprise. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Chandra is asking, from what I understand, there were feminine oracles in Egypt that worked with Isis that lived in a hexagonal community. At least that is the best way I know how to explain it. Can you elaborate on that?
Oh, yeah. I'm having deja vu, like I answered this question before. But yeah, they were getting at the beehive. They were working with the energy of the beehive. Does that answer that question?
Yes, and you did bring up the bees and that energy of the protection around us.
Yeah, they knew that there was something about that geometry, the hexagon, that protects people and creates harmonies on the earth. So you want to build with certain geometrical forms and not others. So our square roofs have got us pretty square. Inside the box, so to speak. Literally inside the box. Okay, next question. About or if I haven't completed some of the previous ones.
I feel, yeah, if anyone here has additional questions, please put them in the chat box. I'm just getting, Trish is here. Hello. She signed up for the training and she's also going to be signing up for the Magdalene training. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, there's just some people really sharing thank yous, and they're kind of blown away by some of the information that's being shared here. And then I also kind of want to bring up too that if you guys are still on the fence, don't forget there are these priestess conversations with Marguerite available. You can sign up to get on a call with her and kind of chat to see where you're at and if this is going to be a good training for you. But I also want to bring in that there is a free on-demand masterclass that was offered, which is all about what is a Mary Priestess, what's a Magdalene Priestess, and if it's right for you, if that's the right path. And so that's really learning the existence of the Sacred Order of the Marys, a priestesshood led by women who bore those names, but also one that transcends time and place. So this is actually on demand, so you can sign up with the link below if you want a little bit more information, even before maybe you get on a call with Marguerite. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's go back to the list of questions.
You know what's coming through, Athena, is that I'm feeling the invitation to be able to give some messages from Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary. And, I'm not like, one of those channelers and so forth. Oh my gosh.
You're stepping into it, embrace it.
Judging people. But okay, so Mary Magdalene would like to go first.
Okay.
So I'm just greeting Mary Magdalene, and she's greeting me. Wow, she is so beautiful on the inner planes. It's incredible. And large and strong. She's almost like a gargantuan statue. I mean, kind of like a tower, right? She's towering. She's towering energy. And so just Blessed Mary Magdalene, we greet you, and I would like to know if there's anything you'd like to say to our community here. Well, you're gonna die laughing, but she said, love one another. That is what she said. They went through the crucifixion. They went through whatever they went through. They went through blisters on their sandals with no band-aids at that time of the earth plane, whatever. They went through it. A mother lost a son, one of the most horrible things, okay? They went through these things just to show a way. A path of love, light, and wisdom that carries you in this lifetime as well as beyond. Because as you all know, when you really do start operating from that place, like Cacao 24/7, things are so different. Like, you come up with these wiser solutions that are not you being stepped on or you just putting up with stuff or da-da-da. It's like you come up with these wiser solutions. That's what Cacao does. That's what, you want to be in connection with these guides to help you with that information. What is the best thing that you need for yourself, for this planet at this time? So, okay, Mary Magdalene. She's just so supportive of our humanity. And she's like, well, that's why we called it anthropos, meaning the human, the perfected human, because we love humans. We are humans. We've been humans. We are you. And when we say the perfected human, the perfected anthropos, we're saying the perfected, all that you can be as a human. That's what we're That's what we're here to help you with, is to become all you can be as a human. On earth as it is in heaven. You see, we're just aiming to help this. And every time that a religious institution tries to do that, then something comes in to distort that. And, so we're like, oh, another fresh rung of the spiral right now. And you're catching a fresher rung. It's like Mother Mary has broken through her amniotic sac, and is here with us now on another rung. Okay, so that from Mary Magdalene. I'm going to tune into Mother Mary. She too is saying, love is the key, and it's the door, and it's the hinge, and it's the room. And so really this focus on love, again, going back through to enable yourself to be at that place of love, for you to do the healing, get the filling. There are many, many new ways that you can do your healing now on the planet that are quicker. Okay. Marguerite just, went through one, for example. And so we are family. We are family with you. Because the blood of the Magdalene and of the Jesus is within every single person on the planet now. It made it around. They had intended it. They knew it would take a certain amount of time where all the genetic codings would go through the entire human race. And then they're here. So they're here now. And that's why they tried to do a great eradication recently, to see if they could, make it work to get a lot of people off. And we're like, oh, no. Too much of our light body is developed now for some of us. So we're continuing that journey, you see. And so it's like sticking to the light body no matter what happens. No matter what weird, sticking to the Merkaba love and light vehicle, fortifying yourself, drinking of your own vehicle every day. That's parthenogenesis. Because you're sourcing it from within, the endless font. You're not cannibalizing yourself. You're sourcing it from within. It's an endless pouring forth into your Merkaba of the love light. Okay, so those are some messages from the Marys and the Magdalenes, who are basically overlighting this entire event that's taken me into the realms of the death rites as being very, very important for this ascension. That is as important a part of it. Gloria and Sylvia are telling me a joke right now, but I don't want to really repeat it. It's a little, but what happens to your body at the end of your life matters. Because it's how your soul is dealing with your body. And Mary was able to get to the place of total recycling. She's reabsorbed her entire body off of the earth plane through her spirit, like atom by atom. That's high quantum physics. She doesn't get credit for that one, but she did it. And she was master of birth, master of death, the Alpha and the Omega. And that's how it is that she was able to, through all those lifetimes, she was able to finally make the one merge with the divine so that she can be inside of your living room in whatever way you see fit. And if you like those little tchotchkes, she's looking down, we're not going to take that away from you. All right? Well, if that helps you, do it. All right. Marguerite has one in the backyard too. But you just want to infuse everything you're doing with the love of the Marys, which is the love of Sophia, which is your love, which is who you are. It's your love light. That's what this priestesshood really is. It's just a name to give to getting humans back to their elevated love light awareness co-creatorship, their divine anthropos nature. And a lot of people are choosing to come back down into it, even if they can ascend. And yes, that is the bodhisattva type of thing, but there are a lot of people who are just foregoing, various rungs of heaven and ascension to be able to reincarnate back in here. So that's actually a lot of us, probably a lot of us watching this. All right. So there are great soul choices to be made coming and going from this veil. And starting with who's coming in. So women do have that opportunity to raise the vibration of who they're bringing in. How are they conceiving? That matters as well. So we're at both ends of the spectrum here. Okay. We have a few minutes left. Do we have another question or?
I'm not seeing any questions. I'm just seeing a lot of thank yous. We are one.
Yeah.
Static Dance is just saying she came on late. What healing did you just go through? You're going to want to watch the replay for that.
Yeah. That's a private conversation. Yeah. Okay.
And then, we are one being, the Merkaba. Pamela saying to serve. We're here to serve. And what are the death rights? That's going to be another conversation for sure. But do you have anything else you want to bring up around the death rights?
We're just going to say it's a big business. All right. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Okay. So Gloria and Sylvia seem to have been hired by the publicity people of the death rituals today so that they could deliver those messages about we really do need to clean up our act, not only of who comes in here and how, but who goes out and how. That's just one of the main things. So, I mean, I've learned so much in this of what I can remember because I have to go back about the nature of it's not just a one elevator, I'm now at the 1,000th floor. It's a whole process. There are schools, there are lifetimes devoted to this kind of study, but we can learn it again quickly. We can get farther along in our soul's growth in this lifetime and after this lifetime, just with the simple things that are going to be coming through our world from all of us, and including this priestess training, this Mary and Magdalene priestess training. I hope if you're feeling called, you'll come. We're going to have fun. How could we not? It's the fairies as well.
I love that so much. And Pamela is just asking, where can she find the Gospel of Mary? She has a Gospel of Mary with a question mark.
Yes, it's called the Gospel of Mary or the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. You could probably find a decent translation for free on, Google. Or if you wanted to get Karen King's book, The Gospel of Mary of Magdala, that's one version of it. And there are various other ones that have come out. And I highly recommend the course that I have in Anna, the Inner Journey to Inanna and Magdalene. It's in there. So for the priestess training, we'll put that up as a half price. It is important and helpful to be led through these documents, right? And that's one of my gifts to be able to do on the planet. It turns out I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly what that says. It's like I have X-ray vision, right? So we're all helping each other get the code words in whatever way we need. And it's a collective, co-creative process that honors the creativity of everybody in it. Okay.
It's so beautiful. And so one more thing here, Erica is asking, she'd love to have a conversation with you. Can you let her know how she can connect with you? So
Yes.
you have free calls, the free call, as well as mentorship sessions, correct?
For the priestess training, if you're interested in that, you have a complimentary mentoring session, and Karen is putting those links in the chat, I believe. So you could sign up for that if you're serious about the priestess training. If you want to work with me one-on-one for even just one session, then go to sevensistersmysteryschool.com, and under that, mentoring, and just book a session with me. Okay. I hope, does that answer everything? Because I'm like,
yes, it totally does. I know there was so much beautiful information that came forward today. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who is on this watching live with us and everyone who watches the replay. And I just want to say a thank you to Connie for holding space. I want to say thank you to Karen for doing all of her magic in the background, as well as to you, Marguerite, and all of the medicine that came forward through the Mary's teaching. So thank you so much.
blessed be, and thank you, Athena Sai, our heavenly host. We're so grateful to have you. And thanks to everybody watching whenever, in whatever dimension. And we will say goodbye for now.
Thank you.